My gums are starting to feel weird. I think my teeth feel loose. Are they gonna fall out? Now that I'm thinking about that, my heart feels like it's pounding. I'm having shortness of breath. My chest hurts. I need to look up the symptoms of a heart attack. Pain between shoulder blades, arm, jaw, chest. That's what I'm having. Pain type, burning. Yes, that's what I have. I am feeling dizzy and lightheaded. I'm also feeling nauseous. I might throw up just like this is saying I could. After spam calling my loved ones and sitting on my bathroom floor, thinking I'm gonna die, contemplating driving myself to the hospital, I have finally realized it was just anxiety. And the strange feeling in my gums was literally just my attention being there. All it was anxiety the whole time. Have you experienced this before, or are you experiencing this now? Well, I also have. It's been about 1.5 years since I struggled with health anxiety, and I have 3 steps that are going to help you by at least 70% with your health anxiety if you follow them correctly, I guess. Step 1, stop the action. What is the action? It is seeking reassurance within Google, is the big one. That's probably the biggest one for you. Or 2, within people around you. Hey, I kind of have this weird feeling. Have you had this before? Oh, my chest feels weird. Have you ever had this before? Like, do you think I'm okay? Enough of that. Enough. No more seeking reassurance from anywhere except within yourself. You can tell yourself, it's gonna be okay. I've experienced this before. It's all good. And you can tell yourself that everything is going to be okay. When you are seeking that from other people, especially Google, I would so much rather have you asking friends and family if you're okay than Google. Because the main thing here is that Google is going to give you a bunch of different things that could equal something you don't want. Whatever it is you're scared of, whatever it is causing you a panic attack. For example, when I just looked up heart attack, I had those symptoms just the other day. What it actually was is I ate something that wasn't good on my stomach, and I started to get chest pain, and I was getting like heartburn and stuff like that. But who knows? I could have thought maybe it's a heart attack after reading all those symptoms sounding exactly like what I was experiencing. So you want to be able to rely on yourself for the reassurance, for one. Now, stopping the action is going to be probably the biggest thing for you, because the less you act on this compulsion, the less you will, 1, feel the compulsion, and the other 2 will dwindle down as well. Popping in for the action section again, there is another thing that I forgot to put in here, and it is stopping the action of checking for symptoms. Your symptoms that you know that you have, like me with teeth, checking my teeth in the mirror. Scanning your body mentally to see if anything feels off, like, oh, I have a pain in my back, oh, a pain in my neck, things like that. Stop that as well. Okay, continue. So number 2. Stop the thoughts. Once the action is taken care of, the thoughts will also go down. But the big thing with thoughts is to stop yourself from spiraling. How can you do this? Well, usually we try to stop these spiraling thoughts with the action of asking other people, hey, am I okay? Or asking Google, hey, what's going on? And trying to identify the problem so that we can feel better about it. But the problem is with that actually usually accelerates the spiraling because we don't get the answer we exactly need. Or all it is a band-aid when you ask other people and you feel better, because you're gonna get another symptom and you're gonna have to go and ask other people because you can't rely on yourself, right? So there are quite a few ways I stopped myself from spiraling. One of the main ways was to accept whatever it was that I'm scared of. Heart attack, scared of death, sit there and accept, okay, so what if I am? So what if I am dying? Yeah, like, is it truly in your control? Yeah, you could drive to a hospital, but if you're dying, you're dying. You're under this illusion that you can control the outcome because, oh, I could drive to a hospital. Oh, I could go to a doctor. Oh, I could do this. But will you? Will you? So for me, it's accepting the end result. It was easier for me to accept the idea of dying. Obviously, I don't think I've fully accepted death, right? But I've accepted the thought of it, if that makes sense. You want to accept the thought of death. But the ones that were really difficult for me were ones of like my teeth falling out, losing my eyesight, losing my motor function. Things like that were my biggest fears and probably my most irrational, that would just take over and like hijack my brain. So for me, accepting that would be like, okay, so what? I'll get dentures. Okay, so what? I'll get a wheelchair. Okay, so what? I'll be blind. You know, and just kind of just dealing with the fact and accepting the fact that, sure, that end result is possible and I can't control whether it happens or not. I am not in control of that. You can try and prevent it all you want, but if it's meant to happen, it's gonna happen. And then step 3, the third and final step. Now, instead of saying stopping the feelings, like I was saying, stop the action, stop the thoughts, we are going to allow the feelings. When you have these feelings of fear just lash out within you, what I want you to do is to accept that feeling and allow it to flow through you. Don't try and shove the fear down and not feel it. Allow yourself to feel it. If you're not in a place where you can comfortably, like, you know, like, because sometimes maybe it'll make you cry, maybe it'll, you know, you're going to be very uncomfortable at first when you start accepting this feeling of fear, you know, because your body and mind are like sirening, like, oh my God, we're going to die. And you just need to sit there and say, so what? So what if we are? And feel, which is difficult, yes. It took me a long time to be able to really get that down. But my best advice, if you are somewhere where you genuinely feel like you cannot do that and you can't step to the side, in that case, I would say the best thing to do is to try and throw it out of your mind and distract yourself so that you can get whatever you need to get done and address this issue later. But if you're in a place where you are able to just feel it, like for me, I've had it a lot where I'm in the middle of a conversation with a friend. Like I had one of my friends and he was telling me about how his dad had a tumor in his ear and it was like causing him to pass out and stuff. And ironically, while I'm talking about this, I actually do have a bump in my ear right now. I can feel it. But while he was saying that, I had the impulse to feel my ears and check. I was symptom checking and I did feel a bump in my ear and I was like, oh my God, I never have bumps like this. What is this? And I started like freaking out. Like, oh fuck, am I gonna start passing out? Blah, 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 blah. Spoiler alert, it was just a pimple. And right now, I don't know if you can see it, but I definitely have one again. I'm not sure if this one's a pimple, but guess what? I'm not reading into it. So those are the 3 steps. Stop the action, stop the thinking, and allow the feeling. Now, did I completely get over my health anxiety with just these 3 steps? No. There are a few more things that really did help me over the last hump of finally never feeling it again, except for just the other day, I actually did have my health anxiety act up for the first time in over a year. And I'll play the clip now. Dude, there's something wrong with my fucking eyeball. What is this?
Go ahead and use the eye drops, man.
Wait, hang on. I actually need to ask Jake about this. I don't know what the fuck's going on. So in that clip, you can see me like checking my eye and like wondering what the hell's going on. Because deep in my eye, I felt like a pressure in here. And when I pressed right here, I could really feel it. And when I looked straight down, it felt like my eye was like, I don't know, it felt like there's like a strange pressure back there, like something was holding on to the back of my eyeball. So it really started to bother me because I couldn't stop noticing it. And so I decided to take out my phone and take a picture of that top part of my eye where I could feel something like while I was looking down. And in my camera, it looked like there was like a big bump at the back of my eyeball, which made me freak out because like, why the fuck is there a bump on my eyeball? No one gets bumps on their eyeballs. Like, what is that? Then I had my dad look at it, and it turns out it was just redness. And the way that the veins were, it like made it made it look like a bump, but it wasn't. And so I was still in like a panic state, like on the verge of tears because, I thought something was wrong with my eyeball. So what I did was I went and I did a breathing technique to get my nervous system to calm down and to be able to calm my nerves enough to think rationally again. This is another point that will also really help you. And it does kind of go along with allowing the feeling as well as stopping the thought. So after talking to my dad, I went and I did this short breathing technique. It was only 5 minutes. It's one of the ones where you're like breathing really heavy and then you hold for a certain amount of time and then you breathe and breathe and breathe and then you hold. And then at the very end, you really just connect in with yourself and you listen to your inner guidance, right? I'll actually link that breathing technique down below. If you skip to, I think it's like the halfway point of the video, that's when the breathing technique starts, and it has seriously helped me be able to just get my nervous system from up here all the way down and get me back into the parasympathetic. Now, does the breathing technique necessarily like cure anxiety? No, because if you still are an anxious person or your brain is wired in that way, you'll wind up anxious again. And it's not always going to be convenient to whip out your phone and listen to some breathing technique, Another thing is to be able to accept yourself as you are, because what I notice health anxiety usually kind of comes from is the idea that you are not doing enough for yourself presently. Like, you have such high expectations for yourself. For example, like, you feel like you need to work out, eat healthy, get more movement in, not sit for long periods of time, not sit on the computer with the blue light, not be so stressed out. All these types of things, you feel like that is necessary for a healthy life. So the life you're living, which is not that, and it's not that path of eating perfect and all this stuff, you feel like it is only a matter of time until it's going to come bite you in the ass. Like, for example, for me, a big part of that was vaping, because I was vaping. I now have quit, I think it's been like 2.5 months, but I was still vaping even when my health anxiety went away. So it's not the fact that you need to hurry up and eat healthy, or you need to stop vaping and stop doing all this, stop drinking. No, not at all. This is a mental thing. This is not physical. You're not having all this fear because, something bad physically is going to happen and my body's trying to warn me. No. So it's important to, I don't necessarily want you to lower your standards, I guess, but I think it would be a good idea to be more realistic and understand that you are capable of vaping and still being healthy. You are capable of not eating very well and still being healthy. Sure, we can debate on what healthy means, but I don't think you're suddenly going to have cancer, verge of a heart attack, and all these other health complications because you ate McDonald's last week. You get what I mean? Because just because we're accepting our anxiety and we're accepting the way we are and our lifestyle as we are right now, doesn't mean we're going to stay there. I'm way healthier now. Like I said, I quit nicotine 2.5 months ago. When I got over my health anxiety and I accepted the fact that I did vape, I still knew I was going to quit one day. I just knew that I don't have to right now. I'm okay. And if something were to have happened, something were to have happened. But guess what? It didn't. And this goes pretty importantly with my next 2 points, which are also my last 2 points. What helped me a lot is learning to trust my own body. Our bodies are complex machines that we still don't completely understand to this day. Why do I think that I know better than my body? Do I really think my body can't hold my teeth and my gums in my jaw? Do I really think my body can't prevent itself from getting a tumor? Do I really think my body can't prevent itself from having a heart attack? I know that my body is capable of creating miracles. Why should I be on the end of believing that my body can't do these things? My body isn't capable of preventing these things or curing these things from me. Instead of choosing to be fearful that my body can't handle something, I am choosing to trust that my body can handle anything I throw at it. My body is amazing and it's like made of steel. It can handle anything. Moving towards that line of thinking will make life much, much easier for you. And because I don't know about you, but with my health anxiety, I started to get to the point where I started not even care if I died. Like, I know I'm being pretty extreme with this, but it was seriously wrecking my mind all the time. When it first started, I was having freakouts every single day. I was having a panic attack every single day for about a month straight. I finally started to incorporate these things because I had enough. I couldn't take it anymore. It was too much. And then over time, they started to weed out, and I stopped freaking out about new symptoms. I had one stick around, and it was the fear of my teeth falling out, and that stuck around for about 6 months. And I would have a panic attack about that between 1 to 2 times a week, which was far better than every day. But then it finally started to space out, and now it's been like over a year since I had a freak out, minus about a week ago when I had one. But I didn't Google anything. I didn't look for reassurance except asking my dad, hey, is there a bump there? Am I like hallucinating? But yeah, and then after that I did the breathing technique to calm myself down, and I went back to the video and stayed playing some Fall Guys. Now my final point here, if you think that there is a higher power, God, the universe, the creator of all that is, putting your trust in that higher power, or in that higher power within yourself, I trust that God would not do this to me. I trust that the universe would not do this to me. I trust that I would not do this to me. My soul would not do this to me. My body would not teach me lessons I need through extreme health issues. The more trust you're able to put within yourself, within a higher power, and it's more so at that point kind of like faith. Having faith that it's all going to work out. Having faith that it's all for a reason. You know? And if this did happen to me, if this is what was really going on, I trust that it would not happen unless it was for a really, really good reason. If I'm meant to pass now, it's for a good reason. If I'm going to lose all my teeth, it's going to be for a good reason. If I have a tumor, it's going to be for a good reason. And the more trust you have there, the more peacefully you can live. And I'm still learning that lesson of trust. That's applicable to, in my opinion, all anxieties. Because when you put trust within yourself and within the universe and within your life path, and that everything, and you have faith that everything is happening the way it is meant to, all for higher learning, all for your purpose and to lead you down the right path, that is salvation to me. That is freedom to me, where I get to just live and I get to just experience. And I don't have to worry so much about all these different choices and what I need to do to prevent this, this, or this, or this, or this, or this from happening. It's like, no, I don't need to prevent anything. All that is meant for me will come. Good or bad, you know? So I really hoped I was able to help you today. I hope this reached the people that are meant to see it. And if you could share this with anyone that is also going through this or they have experienced this before, I would greatly, greatly appreciate that, and I'm sure they would as well. Thank you so much for watching. It means the world to me that you listen to my story and what I've been through, and I really, truly hope that it helps you in your path as well. Bye! Thank you for watching!